So we got, not only do we got the vegetation, not only do we got the herbs, not only do we have the pure oxygen, we have unlimited access to food. Got to show you this. I'm showing you why Africa is preliminary. And understand when we talk about global African supremacy, this is showing you why Africa was on top, even in the early civilizations. No, you can't compare no goddamn Greece and no mess. They didn't have that. This is what spawned the great civilizations of Africa. Because when you got unlimited access to food, unlimited access to paradise, and you don't got to go out there like everybody else and wander around deserts and rocky areas and, looking for food. Your food right there for you. The ancestors, the blessings of the cosmos allow for you to have yours right there in your backyard. And because you did not have to, go through such strenuous, means to bring about your food supply, your food, clothing, and shelter was already there for you. You understand what I'm saying? And so once you master that, which didn't take much, then you had much more time to go out and advance science. See, when your food is already secure, when your home and all of that is all, now you have time for leisure where you can discuss the higher mathematics, the science, and so on and so forth. But if you's a vagabond and every day you got to get up and hunt and you got to, you understand? See, here we didn't have to, hunt, to the point because we had vegetation. We had, we got lakes and rivers, full of fish. You know what I'm saying? So, we didn't have to go out there and hunt that hard for our food. If you wanted to go get some animals, that's cool. But if you didn't want to risk your life to go hunt no damn animal, and then you had small animals that didn't take much. You understand what I'm saying? You had small animals that didn't take much, you know what I'm saying, to go out there and hunt. So, that was an easy process. And so then we moved into the higher sciences. We started looking out into the stars. You know what I'm saying? We started regulating the stars to even the flow of the river. We understood that when the star series rose, that the Nile, was ready to flood. And so we had even synchronized, our geology and our geography to the cosmology. You understand? Started, to connect the higher sciences. And so we started even aligning our architecture, our pyramids and our temples to the very stars that we saw above us. You see what I'm saying? And so let me come on out here so I can get my bearings so I know exactly where I'm at. Okay? Come back on over here. Come back on over here. And let me start moving. Okay. And so here, when we start talking about the Naga Kush, a lot of people just don't understand that our people not only historically have been indigenous to these lands, and when I say indigenous, they come from Africa, but they the first that ever populated any of these areas. If you look up the news right now today, and you look at the map to the right, you see Papua New Guinea. And then you see Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea is where a large portion of Africans are living there today. And we don't have no mistake that they're African, because the hair on their head and their chins is some of the most woolliest hair in all of Asia. You understand? I believe that the hair of the Papua New Guineans is even more woolly than some Africans on the continent. Okay, so when you go into South Asia, Southwest, East Asia, these Africans many times are called negritos. Okay? And so you see right here the negritos of the Philippines. See, when we say that the Nagas were, indigenous to Africa, somehow people believe we talking about way back in the past. No, they there right now. And there's a genocide that's going on our people in these lands. And this is why Papua New Guinea is trying to succeed from Indonesia. Because the Indonesians, which we know in many is the Oriental, okay, which is the Oriental, which is the, and we slant-eyed. But we talking about the white slant-eyed Oriental is over there committing genocide on our peoples. And we got to speak up only because it's a genocide. Somehow people think that the Oriental is on your side. We got many videos where they over there whooping on our people. Right here, whooping on our people. A lot of our sisters still support these motherfuckers going in there. And that's okay because I understand. But it's not okay. It's not okay. When we got many videos all across YouTube where they whooping on the sisters and they don't have no goddamn respect for that dollar that we bringing their ass, because they could take their ass back on over there to them bamboo forests and, you know, where the fuck they come from, which they don't come from. I had to recant that. You understand what I'm saying? So they are the oppressor. We just like the Arab is the oppressor, just like the Caucasoid is the oppressor. They are part of the oppressor, and we have to deal with them. This is another sister, woolly head, right there in the Philippines. A lot of people think that somehow we talking about the Nagas of ancient, that they know they there right now. These is your brothers and sisters over there right now, and they don't get the media. They don't get the visual. You understand? Airplay, and a lot of people don't know that they there. Okay, even in Japan. Let me keep moving. You understand what I'm saying? You see here, what we call the Indian Ocean. Ain't no India. How the hell is gonna be an Indian Ocean and ain't no India? You see what I'm saying? And, you know, we talking about this is the Naga. Before there was ever a India or China, these areas belong to the African people. You understand? All the way up into Japan, which I'm gonna deal with today. Now, what brought our people over there was the monsoons. You know, this is where you get the Mon Khmers or Angkor Wat and so on and so forth. And you can see not only, you know, when you start talking about India ain't nowhere from Africa. I mean, that's just a given. You know, that they, you know, if you watch the monsoons and you even watch up in what they call the Gulf of Oman, which today is the Gulf right up. If you look at where Iran to the left, you see Iran, you see Iraq, you see Saudi Arabia. The Africans sailed up in there, and that's why you see that that in the south is where the Mesopotamian civilization, right there where them waterways were. Even when you talk about what they want to call the early Indian civilization, you understand? Starting right there where Pakistan and India, right there on the waterways. You understand what I'm saying? So you see the Africans is selling into these areas. And where they land is where the earliest parts of these civilizations begin. Okay? Even going over there to Burma, to Thailand, to Vietnam. We're going to even going to Japan, even going to Australia, and even going even further east into what you call, you know, Vanuatu and over there Easter Island. And see, our people not only hit the Americas from the west, they hit it from the east. They hit it from both sides, okay? They migrated from both sides. And so this is right here is what you call the Indian Ocean nations, okay? And so this showing you this early system. All of this was originally Africa, and really this is what you call the first world. You understand what internationally. You understand long before the Africans was dealing with the European, long before the African came west to the Americas, this is the first world. Africa is the first world, but when we talking about the international first world, this was the home of the African Kush. You know, the Kush of Africa and the Kush of what we call Asia, Southern Asia. Because even in what they call Mesopotamia, they say Nimrod, Kush, okay, which was the son of Kush. Okay, going over to the Kush, Hindu Kush mountains and Kush, you Kushan civilization. That term Kush is all the way to Japan. And it's not by no goddamn coincidence because the original population of this area was Kushite. Okay, Tamil Nadu. Okay, and so you see that there is even a branch of the Kushite family that, Sri Lanka in that area where there's a Kushite population. I'm going to come back to that, you understand, to show you the evidence of that. Okay, here you see the Chola dynasty. Okay, you see it's in the south. You see this, you talking about these early they're not in the north. And you see that the Chola, which was one of the dominant civilizations of India, extended. And so when you see this one right here, and you see that they coming over, and you see that from Somalia to southern India, you see what I'm saying? And then you come over here, you see the extension from southern India even further east. Okay, even further east, you see the Chola influence, which is the African influence. And when you go into southern India, this is where you will see most of the pyramid type temples that's carved out of stone. You see, and then, they tried to wipe that out because they know that, that's the evidence of the early African civilization. Nagasaki. See, you're not understanding. Hiroshima. You understand what I'm saying? Or where you get Hiroshima. Okay, Nagasaki. You see what I'm saying? You seeing that, and when we deal with the history of Japan, they document that the little Twa, which is documented in most nations. I was just dealing with the dwarfs of the Nordic. You understand? The Norse mythology, who the dwarfs were responsible for building all the great weaponry of the Nordic gods. And Thor, the hammer of Thor was made by the dwarves. And then when you come back down, even into Africa, you see Ptah, who was a dwarf, was the god of craftsmen, of blacksmiths. You see what I'm saying? So you see that the legacy goes on, and then you can go even into the British Isles, where you got the leprechaun. Okay, and so when you talk about the Negritos are little short Africans. They're not the taller, they're the little short African. When you go to not Australia, but Tasmania, where they wiped out all the little Twa that was on that island. You see what I'm saying? You see is the Negritos are the little Twa. And this is the first dominant branch of the African race that circumnavigated the whole globe. Flat out. The little Twa was the first African branch that circumnavigated the whole globe, because if you go, they still there right now today. You're looking at Thailand. Okay, you see that sister right there. Got the woolly fro on her head. And we understand what that means. Yes, there's some intermixture in there. But you can look at her face. Yeah, it's some, but she's of the early African bloodline that was in. So that's Thailand. You understand what I'm saying? You see India, you see Thailand, you see the Philippines, you see Malaysia, you see Australia. You got to understand that at one time that was all African. What you see today is just like America. If you come back 400 years ago, the European wasn't there. You go back to West Africa, you understand what I'm saying? 600-700 years ago, the European wasn't there. You come back a couple thousand, the Arab wasn't there. You looking at today, and you assume what you see today is what was always there, and that's not the truth. Again, you're looking at Malaysia. We showing you that what we're talking about is not something that's, past. It's still here. You're not getting the visuals that you need, you understand, to see this correctly and see that this is you. We're not just making this up. That's our land. And the ancients documented that was our land. Look at the woolly-haired Buddhas, okay? And you see the earlobe, the long earlobe, which we're going to show is African. Like when they put the wood, and, today the Caucasoid try to steal our science, and they like they do everything. You understand what I'm saying? Like they do everything. Thieves of culture, thieves of land, thieves of people. You understand? So when you look at the early Buddhas, these Buddhas are like, some of these Buddhas right here are 500 BC, this, that, and you see they woolly head, and you can see that, they got wide nose. They Africans. These are the Africans you seeing right there. You understand? These are the original Buddha. You don't see no Buddha until later on, like the modern era that got straight hair, and then even the bald head Buddha is Ptah. That's all that is, dude. And you can see the priests of ancient Egypt that were bald head. You understand? So that's a carryover from that. So again, you looking here, as the the Kushites. Okay, because the Egyptians are Kushite, traveling all into what we call Southern Asia. This is us. This is us. That's why we so connected to it. But we come through the back door with the Hindu. You understand? We come through the back door. They are the usurpers. You can't come into your own house through the back door, nigga. You got to come through the front. And so again, you looking to the right. This is another sister from the Philippines. You see they short. These are the short Negrito and